do that.
Yeah, well, somebody from town actually needs to do something.
Really?
I got it now.
As long as they're
No, but I got it. Oh, it's crazy.
Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting order. Approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve agenda.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Approve April 24th Commissioner and Road or Board of Equalization meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, signal by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Public comment?
We talking?
To what?
Public comment?
On what, everything?
Everything.
Well, I'm here for the roads, complain about the roads. I've talked to you already about it, talked to Bill about it, and it's not any better.
Well, it's gonna be worse because it's raining now.
Well, I know, but the windrows are still there, the ruts aren't even covered in, and he was just there yesterday, I believe, whoever it was.
With Blade,
Yeah,
I didn't go down that. I want to check another road I have to complain on. Okay. All I can say is, as our superintendent here,
Yeah, he's right there.
did we reblade that road then out there? Or?
Which road? Cause we
Project
didn't
road.
blade,
worst one in the county,
it ain't the worst one in the county.
drive over it.
One of them.
Go drive some other roads, it ain't the worst road in the county.
By McCoy's for the project.
I believe Eddie was out there until it started raining.
Okay.
But
There's
I
still
don't
winter
know,
over
I don't
there.
know exactly where he was to a T yesterday, cause I wasn't around.
Okay.
So I can't 100% answer where he was at.
He went down my corner and turned around.
Well, I can go look at it and see what he did.
He didn't do nothing.
Any
Didn't
more?
even fill the ruts in the road. There's still dirt on the side where he could have pulled the dirt off the sides.
Well, I'm not here, I just dropped in.
He just drives it all the time too.
With what they got to work with.
But it's not getting any better, it's just,
With what they got to work with. There's only so much you can do with these roads.
I disagree. You can pull some dirt off the edge, at least fill the middle up and put a windrow down the middle instead of on the side here. And then he comes by the next week and he puts it over on this side. And he comes by another week and he puts it back over here. Put it down the middle of the road and let people drive over it, so it makes a crown. It will start a crown. And if you went out there before it starts raining, you're gonna see where he goes right down the middle of it, and it's really shiny right down the middle, because that's where he's blading. It's knocking off the middle. You can see it.
I guess the way I feel, there's only so much you can do. And I guess where I stand, I got a 4-wheel drive. If I can make it to town, that's sufficient. And whether they're doing a good job or not, that's my opinion. So if I'm contrary, if I think I can do a better job, I'll put in for that job. Is that fair enough?
Fair enough.
You wanna start today?
That's the best way to start.
Yeah, you wanna start today?
Well, you see, I'm damn near 87 years old. And I can damn sure blade that road. And I don't know what you do with it. Where do you get enough gravel to put on it?
It needs gravel. Absolutely.
And if I'm gonna come to town, I'm gonna come to drink coffee and I'm gonna screw the road up. It's that simple. So, anyway, I'll quit bothering you. Mike wanted me to come up here. He might not like to hear what I say.
No, that's fine.
You know what I mean?
I know what you're saying, we don't
What's
have a
that?
lot of gravel to work with, but you still gotta put a crown on the road to help it a little bit. Right now, there's no help.
The only problem I would have, he put the windrow on a north side road. And it was dangerous coming over them hills.
Yeah.
Because it was, you know, you had to stay in the middle of the road.
Okay.
And I'm not here to complain about nothing. Just give you my thoughts.
Okay.
I might stay and listen because just see what the hell goes on.
Any more public comment?
I have one question.
Okay.
So at last week's meeting, Commissioner Williams mentioned that we have $635,000 in revenue gonna come in to the highway budget to fill the void of the money that's not there to fund the budget for 2024. What are we gonna do about 2025's budget? Like, starting January, if we use that 635,000 that you're projected to come in, we're gonna be starting with the zero balance for next year's budget in the highway department. So how are we gonna fund the highway department in 2025?
We'll be doing a budget in May. and
That
June.
doesn't, a budget does not put money in the account though.
A budget is just to follow, and I'm not sure that you can, well, it's a budget, that's what we project we'll bring in. I guess I don't know what your question is. You always start kind of basically with a zero balance for the start of the year. You might have some money to carry over. You know how a budget works.
I do, and that's why I'm asking is because I don't see money being carried over. I don't see starting with the zero balance, and we've never, that I know of, have ever started with a zero balance going into a new year to fund the highway budget. Just because you have money budgeted for that account, you still have to have money there to pay the bills. The budget doesn't matter. What is in the account to pay the bills is what matters.
Well, there's money coming in all the time, and that's just a projected amount, is that'll be the revenue, and the revenue comes in steadily.
Right, but the revenue, as you explained it, will fund this year's budget.
That's what the budget says.
Right. So when we get into January, we're basically starting the highway budget with $0
We're
in the
starting the
account.
highway budget in 2025 of January with the 2025 budget.
Right.
Which will show how much revenue we expect to bring in 2025.
So you're going to take money out of the general fund to put into the highway account to fund that?
You're talking about cash on one side and budget on the other side. We don't have any idea how much cash there's gonna be December 31st. But with the budget, you start with the amount of money that you budgeted in that year. It's the same way they did it when you were commissioner.
But we didn't have to transfer in to fund the highway budget all the time
That's
because there was money there. And what I'm saying is there's not going to be money in that account, so it's gonna cause you to keep having to
You
transfer
don't
money
know
in.
that. You're gonna have money coming in. You don't know how much it's gonna be at the end of the year.
Okay.
You're talking two separate things. You're talking budget on one side and cash on the other side.
Right, and revenue on the third side.
Revenue is part of the budget, is what I was talking to you about. That's budget.
It's expected revenue, but if it's not there, delayed, then you're gonna end up taking more money out of the general fund, correct?
Yes, probably.
All right, I'm just trying to get a handle on where the county's headed down the road, so thank you for your answers.
I don't see why this is a problem. If we're carrying money, and this happened 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there's money coming out of the highway budget, putting back in the general fund. I don't know, that happened for how many years?
There was,
No, that doesn't happen.
and that's the problem right there, is that I don't think you
You can
understand
only take
where the
10%
money
of
goes.
budget into the highway budget.
Well, highway budget always had money left in it,
But the highway budget always
They just
stood
carry
on
it
its own.
just carried it.
It
You
stood
You
on its
cannot
own.
take money from the highway budget and put it back into the general fund.
I stated that wrong,
But
excuse
the
me.
highway budget stood on its own 15 years ago.
Right. And it has up until recently here.
Yeah, but our roads getting fixed, Judd?
Lou,
Yes, the roads
do
are getting
you
fixed.
realize, absolutely, we can fix every road in the county. You can keep spending money, but when you're out of money, you're out of money. And when you have to transfer money, transfer, it's not being sustainable. You transferred $555,000 out of an account that had $80,000 in it last year. That doesn't work. There's no backing for that money. That still hasn't been reconciled.
Was the 550,000, was that cash or budget? Cash.
That was transferred out of the commissioner's contingency, and at that time, the commissioner's contingency only had $80,000 in it.
Commissioner's contingency is not cash. The commissioner's contingency is budget. And the general fund shows $4 million in it. And that's where the money is coming, that's where the cash transfers are coming from, is the general fund.
Right.
I think you're confused on the difference between a budget and cash.
No, I think I've got a pretty good understanding of it, but anyways, thank you.
Any more public comment? Moving on. Randall Reservoir District Meeting, May 20th.
So this will be in Burke. It's a quarterly district meeting. Elected officials are invited to attend. If any of you commissioners would be able to make it. I believe Jolene and JC and myself are going to be going.
Where's it at?
In Burke.
Where at?
That I don't know. I'll have to- Yeah, I'll have to let you know.
That's a Monday.
Let's see what my planning situation is. Highway Department. Slattery Road, Burn Road, Allen Road.
Well, Slider Road be part of their road.
Yep.
Burns Road,
That's the one way up.
Way up on ISIL.
Stu Livermont was telling me if you do something up there,
I already got that covered.
okay.
It's just the phone line is it.
Yep.
We just have to have it located to make sure we don't, when we're pulling off them banks, we don't hit it.
Okay.
Is all that is.
And Lene was down the Allen Road, to Mike Harris, or Mike.
Yeah, that stretch from
Hicks.
Mike Hicks's north was really bad. And especially after it rained, you know, there was people sliding off in the ditch. There's a good crown on it. I think it's starting to widen out a little bit now with people driving on it, but the ruts are horrible. You know, when it's wet, people are turning around and going around through Kyle to get to town. So
How far is that?
it's only about a 2-mile stretch.
Jackson County.
Yeah. But the rest of it now, since this last week and since it rained, it's got a lot of potholes and washboard through the whole way, all the way to the highway in Allen.
Yeah, I'm sure Roger's on that.
Well, I mean, not now, it's
Yeah,
raining. but-
yeah.
Yeah.
Any more on that? Old and new business.
Does Murphy's wanna,
Oh, yeah, they're just here just to introduce
okay,
themselves.
did they have anything that they wanted to speak about or?
Is there anything that,
No, not necessarily, we just wanted to introduce ourselves. You guys have been bringing your machines to us for the year now. Brought some hats for the commissioners.
All right.
Only brought 5, but
But now we wanted to thank you for your business.
just to say thank you. The machines should be up to snuff now. I think we've got all 4 graders ran through. So next year's budget should look better for it. Now that they're all back up, as long as the maintenance, you know, that is always the biggest key, is maintaining. Letting a little problem go till it becomes big is never advised, because then you're talking a lot more money. So,
Yeah, we've seen that.
so that's.
So all in all, are you a mechanic then?
I am not. I'm a customer solution specialist. I was a mechanic for Murphy for 20 years. So all in all, I mean, if you'd like, I can come up every 6 months and do walkarounds and tell you what shouldn't need fixed or what
I'm
is.
just wondering,
You know,
they're all in,
they're all caught back up to where they should be. Yes.
So once a year inspection or something.
Yeah.
I mean, we come through, I'm Mike Bateman, I'm in the sales part of it, and I cover up to Cherry County, so I'm through Merriman all the time, and so does Jeff, so we just hop, skip, and jump up here.
Yeah.
Come take a look at your stuff to help you out.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they started bringing them down, but I know we're getting them worked through, and been working with Colton pretty good on them. So I'm not sure what led them to coming down to us, but we're glad for the business. And hopefully, we're taking care of them the way you guys want. If you guys ever have an issue, there's my cards in there for everyone too.
so does John Deere construction side have, like you do on the ag side, where you can take your sprayer or your combine in and?
We're strictly basically just construction equipment.
Are you talking for service wise?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a once a year deal, or
we can do stuff like that. Yeah, I mean
you could actually come up and
we could come up and
do a walk around.
Yep, well, in fact, I believe the machines that haven't been to the shop, our tech came up and got the valves, engine valves, everything taken care of. So that we're not worried about any of that stuff, so. Yep, we can come up and, I mean, we can sit down and do whatever. If you'd like, we can actually get on the agenda one time too, come back up and actually talk about it if you'd like.
So what motor graders, the ones we got their age, is the emissions the biggest expense on them?
Not typically. I know everybody is scared of the DPFs and the SCR systems and stuff, but motor graders run typically at a higher RPM than the truck side. Everybody heard the trucks did so bad, well, that's because everybody wants to idle, which is horrible. You don't get them up to temperature, it doesn't burn through. Motor graders and loaders, skid steers, everything's that. Construction's the opposite. You're always full throttle all the time. We don't typically see issues with those systems. Our DEF systems, our biggest complaint is contamination. People not wanting to wipe it off before they fill it.
I mean, we've had very good luck with our DEF system itself, that with our new graders and everything. They have an assurance program of the life, that DPF filter will last the life of the engine without having to be replaced. Or normally our competitor wants you to do it every 5,000 hours. So by the time you do it, you're gonna spend 20 grand in filters. For John Deere, you won't have to do that as long as you let the machine go through its regen cycles and burn out that soot in the cap on the whole system. So,
yeah.
So we've had a very good, great start to that part of it. So biggest problem we always see is contaminated DEF getting stuck in the tank, filters, plugs, and stuff like that. Yeah. Other than that, a few sensors here and there, but that's on all that new stuff. Normal wear, yeah. So, but no, we just wanted to come up today, say thank you, introduce ourselves. We knew there was 5 commissioners. I've never met any of them.
I'm Blue. Susan, Bill, and Dave, and then me.
You guys,
No, she's a auditor. One of the commissioners ain't here.
Cole,
okay.
I've talked to Cole.
Yep.
Brandon him a loader. So, all right. Pleasure meeting you.
Yeah.
Keep us in mind, and I mean, if you're looking for used stuff too, I can sell that across line. I can't be bringing it up. So, I mean, we've got 28 locations. We've got inventory sitting everywhere. There's always the right piece for the amount. So,
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Working with Cherry County for 20 years now.
If you guys need anything, let us know. And it's just a phone call away. And like I said, we're up here a lot, so it's not like you're too far over the border here. So.
Right.
So if you ever need anything, feel free.
Can you?
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Old and new business.
I did talk to Linnell Labrat about seeing if she had a replacement in mind for coroner. At this time, she doesn't. She did tell me that the current deputy coroners are Wendell Adair, Jason Buston, and Doug Lucero. All of them have day jobs. So, very well could be. But, yeah, she said the same thing, basically, if we don't have somebody, step up to be the coroner, then it would fall on the sheriff's department, so. Just FYI.
We have any more old or new business?
I can try to do that phone conference with Wick. They said they'd probably jump on a little bit early, so.
Okay.
Now I can see if they're on there.
You just gotta get home before the roads get too muddy. You won't go out, you just stay left foot right. Let it just put your rest.
That's a bumper.
Welcome to the audio conferencing center. Please enter a conference ID followed by pound. If you're the meeting organizer, press star now. You are now joining your meeting. to admit you to the meeting. Thank you for your patience.
Do you want to recess until then, or?
My phone was shared up too, that's my account. They kept saying, a text was coming in. So I sat there and thought about it, went through my phone, sure, settings, it said I had to agree to this
Oh.
thing for wait time.
It's like, what? I
Right,
sent it. I'll try to resend
I
it.
should've left it to there. Next morning, I had 33 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm not a tech savvy.
I know just enough to be dangerous.
Right? Ordered parts on the phone one day. Ordered 4 sets. So sad.
Paul won't order online.
I won't anymore.
He calls them, but he likes to visit. Let's see how the weather is in Georgia.
But you call them guys, this is what you get. Like for an hour.
That's true too. I said, that's because they're all online looking because nobody orders on the phone. They're busy.
Right? Only me and Paul are probably
Exactly.
waiting for each other's.
You know, he thinks he doesn't want to use his credit card, but
I don't
when he
either.
wants to order something online, he wants to use my credit card.
Right.
He's out of system.
Right. I like that guy.
He also
I
holds
am.
up the lines when he's writing checks. Because I'm like, nobody writes checks. And he has a
I
bit
still
when the
write
stores,
checks.
yeah, but some of the stores won't even take checks anymore.
I went so far, I put my driver's license on my check, so they don't have to ID me. I still, you write checks.
On my monthly bill,
Oh, yeah.
unless it's over a certain amount, and you gotta do the check bill.
Right. I write checks everywhere.
The people behind you don't like that.
I know.
Especially at Christmas.
Well, if they give me a dirty look, I just write slower. I know they're all sitting there tapping their cards. Oh, if you really want this, come up, reach in and get your glasses. Oh, man. I'm just not into technology. My idea of retirement is buy a cabin on the lake and just sit there and fish. That's all I want to do.
When's the last time you went fishing?
Me and Lonnie were talking about that the other day, it's been like 24 years.
Been like April?
I have a fishing pole somewhere.
Probably
What's
rusted
the
out.
last time when you went with me and Tom?
You know what? I went one other time after that. Well, we didn't plan on going swimming.
Yeah. Ordered a whole April.
Pretty hard to swim with. I had a sweater on. Oh, that thing weighed 500 pounds.
Bill learned how to swim that day.
Right? I was in this much water, still paddling. I couldn't swim.
Oh,
Holy.
Your calls, I wouldn't have a chance. You just said,
Hello?
you throw me a cruise.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning. Is this Wade? This is Lene from the auditor's office. Here with the commissioners.
Fantastic. How's everybody this morning?
Good, and you?
Yeah, doing well. You guys getting a little rain down there again today?
Yep.
Yeah, pretty nice rain. Do we still have one more person coming on?
We do not. Rhonda and I will visit with you guys today about the deal with Department of Health activities. And yeah, Melissa's not going to make it on this morning.
Okay. All right, well, you guys, I'll let you guys go ahead and,
I can't.
Do you want to start, Wade, or would you like me to do it?
Yeah, no, I can get it rolling.
Okay.
Lene, were you ready to roll?
yep, we're ready. We're ready.
Well, right, so, you know, the past landscape with your relationship with the Department of Health is really more or less surrounded with. So you've had a contract that was helping reimburse your expenses for a number of things, but especially the salary and benefits for Christine. And then, Rhonda, if you mute Rhonda, I think that will quiet that background your side. There we go. Rhonda lives in cube world, so sometimes it's hard for her to have it quiet around
Well,
her.
I'm traveling, so you're in a car right now.
There she goes. But anyways, that's what's been going on for a long time. And of course, we've had a public health nurse, you know, coming and providing the services, such as our pregnancy care program, you know, fluoride varnish, immunizations, providing the developmental and social emotional screenings, that just measure to make sure that those kiddos are meeting the milestones, age-appropriate milestones, and just a variety of the other nursing stuff. You guys know that we, you know, I don't know how many, you had a number of, you know, public health nurses, community health nurses over the years. And it's been a bit of a difficult spot to find somebody right in that community, you know, to hire. So we've had to have a lot of people traveling and covering that area. And the one mainstay that's been there for a long, long time, obviously, has been Christine, because she's been fantastic and been there a number of years. So where we're at today is we've had a change in our organizational structure, and the folks providing WIC services concentrate on WIC and only WIC. And the folks providing the public health nursing services, like I mentioned, the pregnancy care, immunization, and so forth, they concentrate on that only. In the past, for a long, long time, 30 plus years, you know, they were one of the same, if you will. And just over the last 3 or 4 years, especially as we brought on an electronic health record, we started to ask a lot of our staff, we started to ask a lot of them to be highly proficient in a number of software programs, from the WIC program to our immunization program to the electronic health record, and then just a number of different factors, including some fiscal factors. You know, the WIC is a federally funded program, and so we have, you know, some deliverables and some expectations from the WIC side that was getting more difficult for us to meet and stay within those parameters, as we tried to find nurses to do all of those services. So, and Rhonda trained in all things nutrition, and of course, our WIC staff or our nursing staff are essentially all registered nurses, and so that's what's going on. We want to continue a relationship with you guys. I had sent a contract this year that was more or less your public health nursing contract. You got that correct, Lene, through DocuSign?
I guess I don't recall seeing that. Did it get signed?
Right.
You know?
It did not.
Okay, yeah. I don't recall ever getting it. I might need you to resend that to me.
Yeah, that's not a problem, folks, to do that. But this, and you had never gotten one of those contracts, at least not for quite some time, that was specific to that. And that contract was specifically asking for you guys to help us with space and provide us the space to do business, and then provide us some support like you have for all of these years for Christine's health. And that would be more or less in lieu of the contract that you had been getting a number of years that was WIC specific, that talked similarly about those same things, but what it was doing is it was providing you a bit of money as a reimbursement for the salary and benefits especially, and then of course some of the costs that you may have involved in the space. And a long story short, that contract ends May 31st, and that contract will not be reinstated. So at any rate, that's the biggest piece of this, is that there will no longer be a WIC contract that provides you a bit of money. And I think you were probably getting, I should have done a better job and looked that figure up, but you're probably getting somewhere about $45,000 to $5,000 of reimbursement a year. Do you have that figure, Lene?
I don't have it here with me now.
Yeah, that figure is just based on WIC caseload, and so it was providing you a reimbursement for that. So that puts you guys in a spot where you're deciding, what, and it really surrounds Christine. I can't sugarcoat it any more than that. We've had these conversations with a number of counties. Christine, many other counties were also in as they tried to decide how they wanted to continue the relationship with the Department of Health. And, for what it's worth, I'm pleased to say that we've had quite a cooperation. I can tell you that some of those clerical, maybe they used to work 4 or 5 days, and now it has them working 2 to 3 days a week. Just because with the system that WIC is utilizing, they're using a case management system, and the WIC caseload in Martin is handled by more or less 1 to 2 individuals who do everything. In the past, it was Christine's responsibility to WIC, was she would make appointments, she would do the intake, check, make sure they were eligible for WIC, whether they were adjunctively eligible through previous Medicaid eligibility or TANF, or she did their income qualifications. She would explain to them, what the WIC program was about, how to use their EBT cards, those types of things like that, just that initial intake piece, and then she would hand them off to a nutrition professional who would go through the whole WIC program and establish, goals and objectives and identify risks and things to work on and provide a food prescription such. Now the whole WIC process is being done by the nutrition professional from start to finish. And so that leaves Christine out of the mix.
Okay, so then public health will be providing their own clerical services after May 31st, is that correct?
That depends on what you guys decide of how you want to proceed with the relationship. Like I said, I was shooting for the moon, so to speak, and asking for Bennett County to provide us the space to do business and provide us Christine that couple days a week. And so that's what we're really here to talk about. The space is a big deal. That's where people know where to find the Department of Health in Bennett County and Martin specifically. And families.
Okay, so then it would fall on the county to pay her wages, and we would not get any reimbursement from WIC or public health any longer.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. So I guess that's what they're asking, is if, you guys are going to continue to let them use the space, and if we're willing to pay Christine.
How many days this is Susan Williams, I'm a commissioner, how many days does Christine work now?
So Christine provides 2 days to the Department of Health and to the WIC and the public health nurse. And then she must be a day or two with court services, Lene?
Yes, yes.
Right. And we've talked about it, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be 100% transparent with you guys. So, and we talked about with Christine and that as to, you know, what she thinks is doable and that type of a thing. She shared, you know, a day a week. We are sending, and we'll probably have some changes, but right now we have our public health nurse coming to Martin a couple days a month, and that is hardly enough. So we will be revising that coming down from here, and we may revise that now with the new hiring here, and it may end up being Heidi Burns, who may come down from Phillip and Hawking County. But at any rate, there's more than enough work for us to come down and provide our services, both with public health nursing. You know, I know on the public health nursing side at least 3 to 4 days a month. Another thing another thing I might add is, you know, some of the heartburn that I've had to visit with counties across the state, you know, is that often in that, well, we used to see our community health nurse here 4 days a week, and now we only do 2. And what I want to share with you is just because the community health nurse or your WIC nutrition professional, you may not be in the building, does not mean they are not serving clients in Bennett County. We've implemented, COVID forced our hand a lot on this, but we've implemented a telehealth platform. We have a number of mechanisms in that to provide both WIC and a number of our public health nursing services, especially to the educational pieces with the pregnancy health program and with the developmental and social emotional screenings, those types of things. As many things as we could offer in a virtual environment, and for clients actually love it. It keeps them from having to pack kiddos up and come into the office to fill out paperwork and answer questions when we're able to share that with them and send that to them, you know, in a virtual environment. So just keep that in mind, that just because, you know, you have a nurse there just a day a week or a WIC nutrition professional around a couple, 3 days a month, that your folks are being served off, and it actually expands services a bit. The reality is in the past, for so many years, the only services that the folks in Martin could get was when the nurse was there. And today that's not the case. I mean, they're able to have an appointment and see somebody in that virtual environment if it fits the service delivery, you know, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Bennett County probably already pays for a major part of Christine's salary, I would think.
You do. You absolutely are paying. You're probably paying close to, and again, with her, you know, and it might get a little bit convoluted when you guys look at it as to, you know, because it's not like she probably gets a separate check for her work with the Department of Health and that support, and a separate check from court services. It's probably all one check.
Court services is state, and WIC is county for us.
Okay, then it is. But yeah, your statement would be correct. I would assume, given the caseloads in Benton County and that you're paying, you know, probably 60 to 65% or maybe even a little more of Christine's salary and benefits already. reasonable, Rhonda? Does that figure seem reasonable?
Yes, actually, I think our contract was less than 3,000.
Right?
It was like 3 to 4, you know, so we weren't paying a whole lot for her time.
Yeah, you guys were picking up a lot of that bill.
A lot.
And then of course, your generosity with the space, you know what I mean, has been incredibly important to us and to, you know, our service delivery in that park community.
Okay, so So the purpose of this today is just to find out if you're going to continue to use the space and if the county is willing to pay all of Christine's salary. Correct?
You got
Yeah, and whether you're willing to let us use the space.
Okay.
We would love to continue to use the space.
I'm good.
So how much are we paying her?
It's like $14.50 an hour.
It looks like it's about $1,000 a month. And the budget for the year is 13,000 because I think most of the WIC activity is just salary. So if they're paying about 3,000, we're still, we're paying 10 now.
And at the beginning, he said for everything was 5,000, and just figured that's what he wanted us to do.
Pick up all the rest.
No, we're already paying. This is what they're paying.
But they think it's only 3.
I think that you got $3,800 is what you would be actually picking up.
Yeah.
That you would not be getting towards the reimbursement to Bennett County. That was coming to you on a quarterly payment.
So she was on salary then?
No, she's hourly.
Plus she doesn't get benefits, I don't think, because she's less than 20 hours.
Yeah.
So there aren't benefits.
So how many hours are you expecting for Christy to work a week?
Well, I hate to, you know what I mean, throw out the expectations. I mean, this is a conversation that we're having, but, you know, if I get a chance to ask for pie in the sky, would be to continue to have Christine provide the same support and services that she always has, so those couple days a week. If you're asking me if there's room to talk about that, can she still make a big with less hours? Absolutely. I mean, Christine can make a difference in the community, you know, an hour a week, if you will. She's just been that kind of an individual, you know. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen her come over there on days where she's, you know, worked at the gas station, and she'll come over and help somebody get a car seat or help get a crib for a safe sleep environment. You know, on days she's typically not even there. So she's been fantastic about that kinds of things.
So with this new
that's
procedure, excuse me, with this new procedure then, would she have fewer responsibilities? She would just be handling the WIC part of it.
exactly. She has fewer responsibilities to the WIC program. No longer would she be responsible to do the intake. She would have few to no scheduling responsibilities. Your WIC clients in Bennett County now have a caseworker. That's a sign that is to be handling all things WIC. So making appointments with them, doing the intake and the education and that kind of a thing. You obviously have quite a few people who, you know, don't call us, they just walk in, and, you know, that's a benefit of having Christine there, a day or two a week is, that forward-facing piece. So even though she may not be doing intake for WIC if they come in, with her experience, she's able to get them hooked up with their WIC caseworker and share those types of, all of that information and that kind of thing. She's well versed in all of that. So while she may not be doing that, she'll still help and guide those people to make sure they get exactly where they need to be. And then she would be providing a considerable amount of support for the public health nursing, things in the way of doing income checks and collecting demographic information, scheduling them and those things like that for pregnancy care and for, immunizations and that kind of a thing.
So her 2 days a week, those are 8-hour days, correct?
Yes. Typically, they've been 8-hour days. I go on occasion that she's come in, on a Friday and help somebody out for an hour. So then she may only take a half an hour lunch or something like that. So she stays, within her 16 hours. I'm sure you follow what that picture. Another thing that you would get from us that you really haven't been getting from us is, a quarterly report in the way that you would like to have it. Some counties like to have the public health nurse come and spend 10 or 15 minutes and share what's going on in their quarterly basis. Some of them like to, we certainly like to see that first year and then provide us a written report on a quarterly basis or somewhere in between. And so those are some of those stipulations in that particular public health nursing contract that you guys haven't really been exposed to. So I just sent that to kind of get the conversation started. And so it sounds like you haven't seen it, which is no big deal. It shows exactly what you can expect from us. And it just asks in there that you're providing the clerical support and a place for us to do business. We're not even talking about defining any specific hours of clerical support that you may or may not provide, just kind of as needed. So again, Christine is your employee, so that's where things get, that's why we're at visiting with you.
I don't have a problem with picking up her salary. WIC is a big part of Bennett County, and I know that the amount of, say, groceries and stuff that are bought in Martin adds to the city's income. An extra $3,000 isn't gonna make or break us. And that way we can keep her at the 2 days a week. She can probably handle that. She has for a long, long time. And I don't have a problem with WIC using the office space.
Do you need a motion on that?
I don't know, wait till the contract comes.
Yeah, so can you resend that contract to me today? Wait.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
We'll just table it till next meeting.
May 22nd meeting.
All right, we'll have that contract, ready for the May 22nd meeting, will be our next meeting. And,
All right.
I'll get that sent back to you, but as, for now, it sounds like we're okay with, keeping Christine on the 2 days a week and letting you guys use the office space, so.
Well, fantastic. That's good news. Thank you. Back to our processes and goals and it with the Department of Health. So appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, and your guys' dedication to help us out. I'll have that sent to you, Lene, so you can look for it. It'll go to the commission, it'll go to the commission.
Oh, I'm sorry, you broke up. What'd you say?
Did your commission chairman's name is?
Dave Bakley. David Bakley.
Okay. Okay, it'll go to both of you folks,
Okay, sounds good.
all right. You know how to get a hold of me, Lene, so if you guys have any other questions at all, reach out, throw an email, and, you know, we'll answer any questions, but you guys have a great day.
Thanks, Wade.
Hopefully your rest is smooth.
Yep. You have a good day as well.
All right, you well.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
It's hard to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll table this till next meeting. Executive session, legal counsel.
Okay, and Sarah's not here, but we can call her as well. So
I'll make a motion to go to executive session for legal counsel, SDCL 1-25-2/3.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We are now in executive session at 10:26.
And did we say we were on conference call with state's attorney?
No, you know,
We were
yeah.
on conference call.
Well, she said you're gonna have to put her on conference call, so
Okay.
I took that as.
Good.
Wage increase. Executive session. Personnel. Let's do that.
Oh, did you do it, Susan?
Oh, I make a motion, we go into executive session on personnel, SDCL 1-25-21.
And who you want in there?
Commissioners?
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Back in at 11:21. Go ahead.
I'll make a motion for a wage increase for Amanda Rissy,
Read my writing.
50 cent from 18 to 18.50. Stella from 16.50 to 17. Christy from 17.50 to Chrissy Lewis from 17.50 to 18, and then Lane Sharp from 14.50 to 18. That's my motion.
We have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, signal by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carried.
Did you get that all, Tim?
Would you read that one more time?
Yeah.
I got Amanda Rissy, 18 to 18.50, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay,
Christy Lewis, 17.
Lewis,
1750 to 18. Stella,
Forbear.
1650 to 17. And Lane Sharp, 1450 to 18.
okay, thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion. Yeah, I motion to second.
Yep. And we did. Did do a vote?
Yeah.
All in favor, signal
Yep.
aye. Aye.
Yep.
Okay.
Motion adjourned.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, signal by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. This meeting is now adjourned at 11:23.
You do?